Hello, welcome to the show, everyone. This is East Tennessee Music Scene on the Rise. I'm Scott Thomas, along with Jonny Monster here. Johnny's here to talk to us a little bit about his music and what he's been doing, what he's going to be doing, all sorts of things in his future. So why don't you start off with telling us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I grew up in upstate New York. I started playing around the age of 13. I moved here about 5 years ago. And just music's just been my life, you know, and I came down here for a fresh start, and so far last 5 years been pretty good. You know, gotten to play with a lot of great players and working on an album. And yeah, I mean, just trying to make a living at this, you know.
Yeah. But can you tell us a little bit about your musical style, like what genre you kind of fit into, or do you have your own little niche that you kind of make?
I think it's kind of my own little kind of niche, but it's mostly blues rock music.
Okay.
It's kind of started heading into more of an alternative direction, but it's still, you know, I still try to stay pretty true to the blues roots. I mean, that's what most people categorize me as, is a blues band.
That's pretty cool.
But it's very high energy, you know. I get compared to Jimi Hendrix and Stevie Vaughn a lot.
Yeah, your playing style, we just heard you playing just a little bit ago, your playing style is really unique, really fast, and everything's just changing rapidly throughout your songs that you play.
Yeah, I mean, what I played earlier is kind of another side of me. It's like a little bit more of a folky side.
Yeah.
That I don't play out very often. So like when I do things like this, I try to show people that I do play other stuff, you know.
Yeah. Kind of show your dynamics.
Yeah, exactly.
But you like mostly bluesy style music?
It's mostly what I play, yeah. I mean, I listen to all kinds of stuff, obviously, you know, but...
So what would be some of your influences? Like, who do you kind of draw from to sound the way you do?
Black Sabbath is a big one for me. You know, at least the electric side, like Black Sabbath's a big one for me. I mean, Jimi Hendrix, Stevie Ray, Johnny Winter was a big thing when I was a little kid.
Yeah.
You know, Rod Cooder was a big thing for me for a while. And then, you know, this is what I tell most people, is I learn a lot from the players I get to play with.
Yeah.
You know, even back when I was in New York, one of the best guitar players I ever met, I got to hang out with and play with a lot, you know, and I learned a lot from him. And then my friend O'Neill Dover, he lives in Cleveland.
Okay.
He has played bass with me for a lot of years, and he's taught me a whole lot of things. And, you know, I mean, there's always those like famous, you know, heroes that everybody has, but I really think, you know, lately I've just been learning a lot from people that I work with and play with. So.
Well, that's always good to learn from the people that you are surrounded by, as well as being influenced by people that have kind of made it big in the world. Have you had any influences from somebody like B.B. King, being a real blues kind of guitar player?
Yeah, I mean, of course I listen to B.B. King, but he was never like I got a lot of respect for what he did, but it wasn't always something that was on my turntable, you know.
Yeah.
He's a little bit of a softer side of it, of electric blues, you know. I think. I mean, he's a very beautiful guitar, the way he phrases things is really beautiful, you know. But I've always been drawn to more of a heavier, more aggressive sound.
Yeah.
Like how B.B. King plays, like. You know, I mean, like Albert King is kind of the same way, but he was a little bit dirtier, a little bit nastier than B.B. King, you know what I mean? So like I always had Albert King on my turntable, and then...
So it's more like an in-your-face kind of blues rather than a laid-back and...
It's just a little bit more raunchy, I think, even though it's still kind of... I mean, if you think about like like Born Under a Bad Sign, that's one of the baddest bass lines that there is, you know, and that, you know, that was Booker T. Jones wrote that, but, you know, it's Albert King's big hit.
Okay.
You know, it's just kind of a nastier kind of sound, I think, which has always drawn me in.
Yeah.
The dirt of the blues is what I always like, you know.
It's always good to have something that you're really interested in. Like for me, I listen to a lot of different things, except for the rap stuff. I can't get into that anymore. I was back in the teen years, I was into that, but I can't get into it now. It's just not one of my things. But every other kind of music I can get into and find something in it that I like.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, that's kind of the thing about music is really, it's not really whether one is better than the other, certain style is better than the other. It's what, does this speak to you or does this speak to you? And
yeah,
that's where, I don't know, the kind of beauty of music is, I think.
That's true.
People are always saying, well, you know, this person's better than this person, but that's not really what it's about. It's like, this person speaks to me more than that person does.
Whatever you hear and whatever you like out of what they're playing,
yeah,
kind of hits you more. You have to feel the music rather than just listen to it.
Mm-hmm.
At least that's my opinion.
Yeah.
Coming from a non-musician kind of standpoint, that's the way I see music. If I can't feel something in it, I don't usually listen to it.
For sure, yeah. But, you know, that's like I said, that's why people get confused on what's good or bad, you know.
Yeah.
It's like, there's a lot of music that's just a straight racket, but it's pretty good.
Yeah. They have that formula out there for what's popular style music that people try to copy and get into, but I prefer to have somebody that's original and has their own kind of style and their own way of playing. That's why I like to gravitate towards the local scene.
Right on.
That's why I've been pretty big into the local scene for quite a while now, since about 2014 when I met my first musicians around here. Pretty awesome. And you aren't the only blues musician that I've talked to, though. What was the other guy's name? Don Lindy.
I'm not familiar with that name.
He was the president of the Blues Society here in East Tennessee, so if you happen to want to look him up, then
I'll check him out.
He's pretty cool. He's a good guy. So let's talk about a little bit of things that you're going to be doing in the future. So I've heard that you're going to be involved in some kind of blues thing down in Memphis.
Yeah, the International Blues Challenge, the IBCs. It's a 4-day event, and I won locally here in Knoxville, and it means I get to go to Memphis and compete with players from all over the world.
Cool.
So, you know, the first 2 nights will be like those are the beginning, and then it's the semifinals and then the finals.
Okay.
And it's something I found out about this when I was in New York when I was probably about 20. I don't know, 23 maybe.
Yeah.
But I could never compete because there's no blues society where I was living. You have to be a member of your local blues society to participate. So when I came down here, I immediately joined the Blues Society to be a part of this thing, and that was 5 years ago. And I think I've competed every year, and finally, after 5 years, I've won. I get to go, so it's kind of like a dream of mine to be a part of this thing. It's really kind of a privilege to do it.
It's kind of like a rite of passage with the musicians when they break out of the local scene into an international sort of.
Yeah, well, it's the thing is you're going to be playing with, meeting all kinds of players from all over the world, just top of the line.
Yeah.
Musicians, you know, and then there's also like a lot of real famous people go to this thing, you know, like you never know who you're gonna meet, you know, so you just go and play the best you possibly can and try to turn some heads, and then, you know, if you get to progress through the competition, that's cool too. But,
yeah, it's a good way to network.
Yeah, that's basically why I'm going, you know. It'd be great to win, but I'm not going there to win, you know. I'm gonna play the best I possibly can.
Have fun doing it, right?
Yeah, for sure, you know.
That's kind of the biggest part of being a musician, in my view, even though I'm not a musician, but you should have fun on stage. You should be able to enjoy what you're doing, rather than just sit there and play guitar or beat the drums or sing.
I mean, the audience picks up on that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They can tell if you're having fun or not.
got me down in the room. You got me down real deep in the down and home.
But yeah, so Memphis is the big thing coming up in the end of January. And then I went into the studio a few weeks ago, started working on EP, I guess. I'm not really sure what it's going to be yet, but you know, we've got at least 6 songs started.
Okay.
And then, you know, I'm just touring locally, playing local shows downtown. I think we're in South Carolina. We go to Greenville, South Carolina a lot.
Cool. What are some of the local venues you've played?
Prez Pub, Barley's, Bracken's in Maryville is a good one. We have a lot of fun there. We've been recently doing Paul's Oasis.
Okay.
Man, I'm sure there's other ones, but they're slipping my brain right now. Not looking at my calendar.
It's hard to remember things that you've gone to just once or twice. For me, it's hard to remember anything I've gone to just once on occasion. But it sounds like you've been all over the place around here.
Well, lately I've been trying to stay more local just to try to build a solid local fan base.
Yeah.
You know, for the beginning, when I first moved here, I mean, I was touring every weekend. I was somewhere else in another city.
Yeah.
You know, it's like we would go to North Carolina and then South Carolina and then sometimes come back through like Cleveland, Chattanooga area back up to Knoxville, or we would go to Kentucky and cut over and come back down through there and do like a circle or something,
Okay.
you know. But it became, well, first of all, it was very tiresome for me because I also have a day job, you know, so I was working 7 days a week, traveling 3 of them.
Yeah.
So it's kind of slowed up on that, as much traveling, but I'd like to get back into it if I had the right players.
What are some places you'd like to go see, or what are venues that you'd like to play?
I don't know really. I never thought about that really.
Do you have any states that you want to maybe try to find a place to play?
Yeah, I mean, I would love to do something down in Austin, Texas.
Austin they've got a good music scene down there.
Yeah, I would love to go play there. I mean, I've been told that Nebraska actually has a pretty solid blues scene.
Oh, nice.
So, I mean, I'd have to figure that out. But there's some pretty big blues festivals in the summer that would be cool to do, like the King Biscuit Blues Festival. There's also another one up in Maryland. The name slips my mind right now, but the festival circuit, I think, would really be a lot of fun to do. And then at some point here, I'm trying to get over to Europe.
Oh, okay. Any specific countries you want to visit over there?
Germany.
Germany? Germany has a big metal scene. I don't know about blues. I'm sure there's lots of blues.
I'm not really sure either, but I've had some friends go there and said they had a great
Good
time.
success. That's awesome.
You know, treated really kindly, and they just appreciated what they were doing. You know, so.
That's awesome. Maybe they don't hear as much blues over there as what they should hear. So when we come over,
I don't know what it is, but it's something about American music they just enjoy. They appreciate it, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
it seems kind of weird. Sometimes a band from another country can come over here, and they may not be the biggest band over wherever they're from, but when they come over here and they kind of make it big, go back to their home country, and they're superstars overnight. Kind of the same way with a couple bands I know out of Australia. Come up to the States, they make it big here, they go back and they're treated like royalty. But they weren't when they were in Australia. They were touring like crazy all over the place in Australia, but there was not too much was known about them until they came here. So it seems kind of weird that you have to go to another country in order to make it big in your own country.
I mean, that's how Jimi Hendrix did it.
Yeah, that's true. Weren't a band like the Beatles. Weren't they still big over in Europe before they came to the States?
Yeah, I think that the way they did it is they were pretty big across the ocean, and then they finally got their big break to come over here, and then Beatlemania happened here, you know. But yeah, Jimi Hendrix definitely had to go to England to become famous.
He was one of the...
I mean, he was playing all those, my dad was playing all the same clubs he was playing in the early 60s in Greenwich Village, you know. So he was just doing the same thing my dad was doing over here. You know.
So do you have any other plans for the foreseeable future? Like in 2019, you're doing the Blues Fest or Blues competition in Memphis. You're doing a record up until you finish it. When might that be completed?
I hope to have a single out with a video started, or maybe finished February.
That's cool.
Basically, I'm trying to. I'm not trying to dive into it. I'm going to release a single, do a video, keep working on it, release another single.
Always better to take your time on something than rush through it.
I really want this to sound good, you know. So.
That's cool.
Because it'll be my third record, and then.
What are your first two records called, so people that are watching this might be able to find them more?
The first record is just called the Jonny Monster Band.
Okay.
And the second one is called Bad Times Before. And you can, they're all on iTunes and Spotify.
All those social media, music download websites.
There's tons of YouTube videos of them too. And they're on my website, JonnyMonster.com.
Okay. We'll make sure we have that typed in down in the information section below the video for you. And also want to have a short bio down there for whoever wants to read more about you that we haven't spoke about here on the show. But if there's anything else you want to tell everybody out there, feel free.
No, I mean, that's pretty much what I got going on. I mean, just come see a show, you know, like
support local blues musicians, local musicians of any genre. We really appreciate you guys doing that, and we appreciate you coming in for an interview.
Yeah, thank you, man.
It's always fun to do these things. I get to meet all sorts of people and from every genre out there, going from doom metal to blues.
Right on.
Haven't quite done too many country. I've had a couple of country people on, and two blues. I'm working on everybody. So if you know of anybody that wants to do this, more than welcome to come on out and we'll schedule them in.
For sure, man.
All right. If there's nothing else you want to say, we will end the show here. This has been East Tennessee Music Scene on the Rise. We will see you next time.